evening, November Foxtrot, and welcome to the show. I love, Lance, how literally, just as you join back in, it clearly cuts back to where you're having this beforehand.
Oh, look, looks like my laptop's on fire. I'm going to move it over there. Hello.
How are you, Lance?
I'm all right, mate. You?
Not too bad, not too bad. Now, I had a little notification this evening that got set up. We can now do this. I don't know where it's gone.
Oh, well, there we go.
That's that worked well, didn't it? Oh, there we go. It's there. So if people put messages in now, so if somebody puts a comment in, it should appear in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Wait and see how that goes. There we go.
Hey, it's me. Hi.
Yeah. So if this gets abused, we will have to turn it off. We could obviously still see all the comments that come through, but
yes.
Okay.
No, man. Yeah.
We're joined in the live studio audience by call sign Samurai Phil Dunn, Danny and
Phil.
Les at the moment.
How's
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening, peoples.
Firstly, a little bit of news from us. So actually, I don't know if this is really news as to something that we've spent. So we obviously have our Buy Me a Coffee, which for all intents and purposes, we still don't understand genuinely why people are willing to put money to help support the channel. We really appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. It's absolutely fantastic. But
we do.
I know from the start, from day dot, when we got the Buy Me a Coffee set up, it blew our minds that people wanted to kind of help support the channel. But this is one of the things that your money has paid for. So this is going to be on the gazebo. This is not going to be a permanent background for my screen. This is a gazebo panel which features us. You might recognise the photo there. Andy's done it as well, but it's just a little bit off screen. But basically, we've got two of these, mostly because the company we got it from messed the first one up. So that's cool because they then reprinted it. So we actually got double our money's worth out of what we've purchased. But we just want to say thank you because genuinely, without like the support from the audience and everything like that, we couldn't do that. And we've also got some stickers. Some new sticker designs. So
make yourself big, Mike. Make yourself big and proud.
I'll make myself big.
Do it.
There we go. Mini Lance. Basically, so if you are a supporter on Buy Me a Coffee already, you will already get some of these. I'm going to make sure that everyone's got some earmarked. There's some other bits and pieces as well going into it. And when the patches arrive, there'll be some patches as well. But we have the new... Oh, it's blurry. Hang on a second.
No, it was focusing. Give it a minute.
It shouldn't be focusing because I've turned off the autofocus.
Go closer. See what happens.
Give me 2 seconds. Let me zoom. Is that working?
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
First we brew, then we breach. So we have the first we brew, then we breach sticker. We've also got the new Milsim Ahead sticker. My face is massive on this. I don't like it. We've got the Milsim Ahead stickers. And if you are interested in... I feel like the Wizard of Oz right now. This is amazing.
You do. Yes, you are. You are the creator.
If you are interested in buying one of the new Mark II bandages, we've got the Mark II bandages, which I'll talk about in a second. These will be coming with a specialist Mother Fraser bandage Fox sticker. So these will be with these going forward. So whenever we sell a bandage now going forward, you'll have a little Fox sticker. Now, I have some left, and I need to double check where we're at with the numbers. Let me just massively unzoom my face because I feel awful. If we have some left, we'll try and put them in the perk packs for the Buy Me a Coffee supporters and bits and pieces like that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll have 3 stickers to give away. We've also got some more of the normal stickers as well, the normal Fox stickers. So if you want any stickers, come over and see us. If you are a supporter, say we'll be putting a little perk pack together for you. So we'll keep that earmarked for you anyway. So we'll make sure you get some
for this coming weekend.
Yes,
I'm very excited.
Kenny says, "Look forward to seeing you at the weekend, Mike." Piss off, Lance.
Screw you, Kenny. You haven't seen your bed yet that you're borrowing off me because you have no stuff.
Is it behind you?
Aha! Well spotted. Yes, this is this is Kenny's bed. Here it is. Nice, strong, solid piece of equipment. So once he's put that together correctly, 100% correctly, then he is allowed to sleep in it. Until then, he won't be.
Yeah.
Bloody
I must profess, I am at the moment suffering quite heavily from fumes from this thing. It is literally, it stinks of PVC in this room. I've opened the window, but I'm in a very confined space. So if I start getting silly at some point, can someone just kind of like let me know, and I might need to just take a breath of fresh air, because currently my drink tastes of PVC.
I don't know, is it definitely that, or have you bought some new Step 1s with like a vulcanized rubber gusset? And that's the.
Oh, I'm not absorbing the smell from below.
No, there could be just like a new pair laying out on the side.
No,
vulcanized rubber does smell.
It's definitely that. It's definitely that. It absolutely stinks. Right, so we talked about the bandages. So if anyone is interested, these are the Mark II version of the bandages. So we have basically improved. We think we've improved the foam. So the foam is now more attuned to. I mean, these are obviously based on the Israeli bandage. So for those that don't know, the Israeli kind of quick response
trauma bandage.
It's the kind of the vacuum packed bandage that you can bite off. These are kind of mirrored on that a little bit. So instead of people running around with bits of bed sheet or whatever that they've kind of cut a strip out of and sort of tying up, and then after the first or second time it's tied up, you end up with like a permanent knot in there and it all kind of falls apart. The idea of these is that this kind of tries to replicate that kind of more realistic bandage design.
Looks cooler in a photograph if you've got a wound.
Yeah, so you can basically apply that and then it's self-attaching. So you can strap that to itself like so. It's hard to do one-handed, but there you go. So you get a kind of more of a realistic bandage approach. So we will have these on sale on the stand if anyone's interested.
Very cool. High quality. Quality checked by Mother Fraser herself.
Made by my mother. She sent me a message and say, I've done the batch of 30. I won't be making any more. I'm going to go have my pickaxe and go down the mines now. So yeah.
Well, she's got a few months off now till we need more.
Yes. Well, I mean, what we've done, actually, we've tried to... So the foam that we bought in the first batch was... I mean, people are more than welcome to make these themselves. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we make them. There's nothing overly special about them, if that makes sense. Like, they're quite a simple design, and you can manufacture this. I won't send you a picture of my arse if you want to. It's only because I can't make them. So I asked my mum to make a couple for me originally, and then a lot of people were like, oh, that's quite cool. Where'd you get that from? So that's why we started to just make them and sell them ready-made, basically, just to save you the time of having to go out and do it. But the original foam was the foam playmats that you get?
Yes.
So we based off those because that was the best foam that we could find at the time. But the Mark II, we've actually used a bit of recycling. We found that the foam from the insulation packages from HelloFresh. So reached out to HelloFresh and sort of tried to grab a few of those and sort of various people in the local neighbourhood. So we've got this surplus of the foam now from that, so we can actually recycle that because it's one of the few items in the HelloFresh recycling or box of bits that you get
that can't be recycled.
That can't properly be recycled.
That's really good.
The idea is that we can actually recycle something. Yeah, so it's actually quite a sustainable product on that front. I mean, there's other things that we've obviously bought and attached to it. So
excellent.
Yeah. Right. Les asks, where are you guys at with clothing?
I think we're pretty much there, aren't we?
We are. We have these will be available. So Shifter Riffs will be the launch of our. We're not selling them on Lance's way, just to case anyone gets confused.
It's just a regular T-shirt.
We will have hoodies and T-shirts on display on the stand as well,
and wearing them as well.
Yep, which you can buy.
Modelling.
So we have a limited ability to get some made overnight between the Saturday and Sunday at Shifter Riffs. Obviously, if we start getting in the realms of more than 10 or 20
of orders.
I don't know how much that we can be optimistic on. But basically, we will have these. These are the website Grunge T-shirts.
Love
and then we've also got the hoodies, and there's another one we've made as well, which I can't remember off the top of my head now. But we'll have them on display so you can have a look at them. We've tried to find the best quality clothes we can, so we've gone with the Pro RTX
Even in Drew
t-shirts, which are, I won't lie, they're pretty comfy.
I like it. They're really nice fitting t-shirts.
Yeah.
And hello, LandNav Challenge, sir. Sorry, missed you at the top there. Hello. Yeah, they're cool t-shirts. Very much liking.
Yeah, they're comfy. They're comfy. They fit well. And we sort of tried to find the best quality of everything that we can.
And the new hoodies are
including the printing.
Banging. The hoodies are but I'm so gutted that the one I got was far too big for me, because that would have just been a keeper. This sample is coming home with me. Yes, no, very cool.
Yes, Les, I'll bring your button to shift your riffs as well. Jake. Hello, Jake. Mission Taylors. Yes, Mission Taylors going to be at Shift Your Rift this weekend, so we can't wait to catch up with Jake. I'll be honest with you, I'm really looking forward to Shift Your Rifts because it's one of the few opportunities where you get to just catch up in person with a bunch of people all at the same time.
Do you know what I really struggle with Shift Your Rifts? Is meeting the person behind the call sign. Yes. And then trying to refer to them as their normal name. Like, I'm call sign fucking Reaper Samurai Killer Dog. But my real name's Colin. And it's like, why'd you say that?
Well, that's obviously Rage doesn't sort of join us live on the audience much anymore, but he genuinely, the problem is that all the time we see the comments come up from Rage, and that's his name to us. That's I know his real name, but he's called Rage, and I can't help it. And then everyone else in the community gets to know him based on that name. And he gets really fucked off with people calling him Rage instead of Rob, which is really funny.
Fault. He come up with it, so bollocks to
him. Phil says, "What's the chance of a deck of NoFo kill cars to drop on downed players?"
That's a very cool idea.
That's a cool idea. I do like that.
Bloody hell, Phil! You come up with some cracking ideas, mate.
Yeah. We could team up with some other bits of people as well. Like we could have Mission Taylors. We could have as like the Jack of Spades. Or
if we did got cards, we could do. You've just been NoFo'd, mofo. Just drop that on them. There you go.
No, because that's so pretentious to run up to people after you've shot them and go, "There you go. There's a little card just to remind you that I got you earlier."
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Winning.
What you want is from Milson. If you've got any intel and you just pull out a whole load of flyers for the podcast, well, there you go.
We need a fourth member, because then we could actually do our own deck of cards. November Foxtrot, but it could be like the 7 of Mikes or the 4 of Lances.
Yeah.
Just really obscure pictures of us
Ace
on there.
Of Andy.
The Ace of Andes.
Andy isn't able to join us tonight, unfortunately. He has a work commitment that has clashed, unfortunately.
He told me instantly privately, said his boss is an arsehole, and he must have this report.
Let's ignore the fact that I organise where the work goes for Andy, but no, I mean, bless me, we're cracking on. So
he's doing it for the good cause of being free in his mind for this weekend.
Yeah.
My
cheeky plug. If you need a CCTV survey, then superflow.co.uk is the place to go.
I was actually helping a friend out last week at their place doing some bit of woodland work for them, and they had a drainage issue, and I did name drop. But then Southeast Water turned up about 25 minutes later. Fuck. They'd already booked before I'd arrived, so I said, in future, though, cool. I know a guy.
I just wanted to say a big thank you as well to the studio audience. So you guys, one of you in particular, obviously put me onto this. You can't see it very well. The lighting is terrible. This is the admin panel for the Osprey pouch civilian edition, the Mark 4A blue pouch Commanders, which I have never seen before, and I am very excited to get with my collection. So
is that a press? Is that like a press outfit? Like carrier pouch. What's the blue? Was it made?
Designed?
Go on.
No, they say the blue was designed basically as a civilian kit. So it's just, you look at media vests and everything like that is blue. It doesn't have to be that, though. You could be anybody that's just not an active combatant, basically, wearing it. It just makes you stand out.
In the field engineer sort of thing would wear blue.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that's not a hostile target. But there's a really funny comedian actually who was saying that he went to do a show to the troops. I'll see if I can dig his name out later. Went to do a show to the troops in like Afghanistan or Iraq or something like that with the US Army. And they gave him like this bright blue vest and helmet and everything like that. And it's like, I'm no sniper, but if I appear out of a helicopter surrounded by soldiers, I'm the one that's going to look important in that one. Like, if you've got one bullet, who are you going to shoot? The one that's like dressed slightly differently and like not like
the one who's in the
else.
brand new kit.
But this was actually, and I didn't realise when I actually ordered it because I did it so quickly, but 24 Delta Surplus, who is a friend of the show. So thank you for sending that through. I didn't in any way get any discounts, and it's not a paid ad at all. So yes, thank you.
Nicely done. Care in the community, that's what we call that.
Yeah. Drew says that pouch will be ideal for my work body armour when I have A5 docs. Where from? 24 Delta Surplus. It was the only one they had. Drew.
Sorry, Drew.
Sorry. It's the only one I've ever seen, to be honest with you, in the blue panel. So,
and you know what the funny thing is as well, Drew, is that Mike's the only one who's got one of these now, and who's very, very likely never ever to use it. Whereas you actually genuinely need it for your work.
Hang on, that's a lie.
Drew says, "Knob."
No. That's a lie, because I definitely I've used my Osprey vest a few times now. So when I did the this was back at APOC when we did the Defiant. Was it a Defiant? What's him? What was the Milsim APOC Lance where I was the press photographer? Julian Banjo. It was the one you organised.
Julian Banjo wasn't a thing then.
It was Julian Banjo, the press officer. I'll dig a photo out.
Julian Banjo started at the Octo 8 event at Ultimate War Games when I slept in my basher and it was like -6 and my head was outside. And I got that picture of you getting out your tent. You look like a fucking Wookiee walking across the woods.
Yeah.
In your pants.
No, but Julian Banjo appeared.
That's when Julian Banjo started, that event.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it that one? Oh, no, it wasn't. It was the private site. Or was it that one? I can't remember now.
No, it was Ultimate War Games where someone asked me to play dueling banjos and I completely misheard.
And you were searching for Julian Banjo.
Julian Banjo, yeah.
Which your brother loved.
Yeah. Well, you know. But basically sorry, I'm just trying to find the photo at the same time so I can put it up on the screen. But
what, have you walking around in your pants?
No, I've got the photo of where I was Julian Banjo, the press officer. So whenever I do any roleplay stuff nowadays, it generally tends to be a character called Julian Banjo just because it's funny. And I've already got various fake passports and everything like that kind of written out because I really like getting into the whole LARP element. Yeah, as you may be aware of. But
really?
It was... Yeah, but there was an event that we ran, and Danny was pretty much... I know Danny was there, Wayne was there. It was sort of elements of the Reapers were at the time, but it was the one where you planned, Lance, with the guy from Northern Ireland to come in and relay some money to like the local militia or something like that.
Oh, yes, yes. Bugger. Oh, bed's attacking me.
Because it was like the... I remember it fondly because it was literally like the reason I couldn't do the Milsim itself is because it was, I think, a week before my daughter was due to be born. So I had to be on call the whole time just in case.
I'm trying to remember the name of the
hospital. It was APOC. Now. Thanks, Danny.
It was APOC, yes. I can't remember. Yeah, because Marcus and I can't remember who else were now. Were your PMC? Because that's where Blackwing was sort of like coined, wasn't it, for us? Yeah, cool, man. Terror. Oh, it's on my phone.
I can't remember the name of it.
I'll have to go back years. I can't honestly. There's been too many ops since then.
Yeah, but it makes basically the blue makes an absolutely cracking. Let me just bring it up.
Actually, I might have it on my early. Keep talking.
No, that's fine. The blue makes an absolutely cracking sort of press officer loadout and everything like that, which you can get the Osprey vest quite cheaply online. They're not horrifically expensive, the blue ones. If you want like the full set of them, and depending on sort of what grade and everything you want, but you're probably looking at say sort of 30 to 40 quid for a blue plate carrier setup. But this was Press Officer Julian Banjo out in the field. I had I had a local guide with me as well called what was his name?
22nd of August 2019.
Yeah,
Operation,
it was James.
I don't know if you can see that. Hussey Darab.
Oh, there you go.
That's it.
But James Minns was my civilian cameraman, basically, who my character couldn't remember his name because he was just slightly racist and kept getting it wrong. So it was quite funny, just the two of us basically wandering around, sort of recording the event. But it's nice to, I personally like having photographers when they do that in character. Because I find it, if you've got someone running around with a high-vis vest, then don't get me wrong, I appreciate there's obviously a lot of expensive kit and gear that they've got going on. But to me, it's just like, it kind of takes that element out. Whereas if you've got like an in-game reporter type thing, it works quite well. But I even went down as far to have an ID press badge and everything like that. Which if you go onto it, I can dig that out as well at some point. That's in my dress-up box. But that's all linked to Reverend Julian Banjo, and the QR codes take you to sort of various. I think the QR code takes you to the BBC website, for example, and stuff like that. Just as a little bit of a fun thing. So, yeah.
Very cool, mate. Very cool. Lovely stance as well.
Thank you.
That camera must have a bit of kick. That camera must have some kick to it.
It does. Massive recoil on the camera on that one. It's
a gas blowback camera. What do you expect? Obviously.
Right, Lars, you had some things that you want to talk about. You've been playing around with AliExpress or Temu, I believe.
AliExpress, yes. I ordered, just purely by chance, and I saw them on there, was some chem lights. And I thought, do you know what? They are literally, I think it was like £1.89 or something. I've got a screenshot on my phone of it. For 5 greeny yellow ones and 5 red ones. And I thought, right, okay, let's see.
Sorry, Drew just said if you scan the QR code, you get 20% off Answer pasta shells. That would be a cracking idea. I'm doing that going forward.
Brilliant. Yeah, so anyhow, I bought these chem lights. Didn't really hold out much hope for them. And they arrived within like a week or so. I cracked one over the sink just to make sure it didn't shatter into a million pieces, and it was all good. Give it a shake. Very, very bright. And I was absolutely shocked that it lasted over a day. Now,
did it? I was going to say
it genuinely did.
Yeah.
So I cracked it. I put a picture up in our chat about 10 p.m. ish in our team chat, and I hung them underneath my fireplace just as a bit of ambient lighting. And then the next day, they were there all night. Next day, and then obviously during the day they don't look as bright. But what I did do is I've got a storage cupboard in my living room, so I literally just went in there, shut the door, and literally just illuminated the cupboard. So at night time they would work perfectly well. So I was genuinely well impressed. So it's a good. I think it was like 18 hours later I tried them. So you get a good 18 hours out of these chem lights. When I was just shocked. Yeah. So I've just ordered a few more purely because they were cheap as chips for I think for 10.
How much were these per light?
Let me just get a picture because the picture wasn't far away. It wasn't too long ago when I did the screenshot. He says,
I could probably find it. To be fair,
you probably
if it's the one you've sent me already.
Mate. Yeah, it's the one I'm sure I shared it in the chat. But there's an image there on my phone of when I first cracked them, so you can see genuinely kicking out some light. And then, where was it? The next day, I took another picture in the thingy. So that picture was taken at 20 past 10 on Monday, and then at 8 minutes to 6, 7 minutes to 6 on yesterday. That was them in the cupboard. So yeah, genuinely very, very impressed.
Nice. And so roughly, what was the price point on them? Because I think that's the biggest thing with like chem lights or anything like that.
I'm sure it was sub £3 for 5 red ones, and the same for. I think I paid like £6 for 10 chem lights, which I thought was pretty reasonable, to be fair. And so I think if you order 10 of each, I think it goes up to like £4.89 per 10. So I thought, right, so I ordered 10 reds and 10 greens. So I thought it'd be quite a good habit to get into when we start, because we're doing more CQB stuff now, like rooms cleared, rooms not cleared, stuff like that. Hazards and that you can mark it with a red chem light, shit like that. So I just thought, because of the price of them, they're always handy to have. We're marking out sort of going out points and things like that at campsites. and they're sort of like a use once and throw away. So you don't want to be spending stupid money on them, especially if you're just doing some sort of city camping or mil sim and that. They haven't got to be mil spec fucking thingies. So yeah, no, I was really impressed. Yeah, good stuff. And I had news as well regarding wild camping on Dartmoor is allowed. High Court ruling today, if you're not aware. So fill your boots. We're all good. A couple of landowners started getting their knickers in a twist about it. Was only the bylaw stated you could only traverse the land on horseback, walking, or something else, and take rest somewhere. And they didn't class that as wild camping, but the High Court has now ruled and said, just note that people can wild camp to their heart's content, as long as they observe the bylaws as well.
I know there's a whole interesting political backstory to all this wild camping stuff, because it sounds like that a lot of Dartmoor is owned by sort of a few people. And sort of the restrictions there were in such a way that it was kind of like they bought it and then wanted to stop everyone from going on it. Which I appreciate, obviously, after COVID, there's an awful lot of people that kind of took advantage of the whole wild camping aspect on Dartmoor, and people were sort of going up there and just using it as a chance to socialise and party away from COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
And I know there was a number of situations where there was just shit left all over the place. But for those that don't know, Dartmoor is one of the only places in the UK that you can legally wild camp.
Well, in England, isn't it?
That's incorrect. Yes, not in the UK, in England, because it's completely legal to do in Scotland. I don't know about Wales.
Not sure. Don't know.
Not sure about Wales. To be fair, Land Nav Challenge might be able to come back on that one. But yeah, so it's quite a fundamental thing. And one of the biggest things that I know we've talked about in the show is that if you really want to test your airsoft survival skills, per se, in terms of milsim, going wild camping or completely relying off your pack out in the middle of nowhere is a really good opportunity to actually test, right, what can I lose that's, surplus to requirement? What could
it's
I
definitely
improve?
It's definitely good for go bag training, isn't it? If you've just got a backpack that's ready to go and you just grab it, park the car up, go for a yomp for a few miles, and then go, right, I'm going to stay here the night. That really does put you to the test, Yeah,
and the navigation as well. So if you don't follow the various paths and things, I mean, there are areas of Dartmoor you need to be careful of, because the first time I went, my brother and I just picked places based on the funny sounding names. So we went to Cock Tor and Hoare Hill and stuff like that, because it was just funny. We ended up in a lot of very boggy areas and things like that. But there is a good opportunity on Dartmoor that you can properly get out into the middle of nowhere where you're not going to see anybody for maybe a day or two. Whereas obviously if you stick to the paths and things like that, it's obviously a bit of a challenge. So if you want to properly test yourself, I highly recommend going out there. And it's something that I would like to, probably not this year now, it's probably a little bit late in the day to kind of arrange it, but something I would really like to try and arrange with a group next year is to not do any kind of weird selection or, like try to replicate any of the British Army training or anything like that, but just get a group of guys together with the serious intent of, we're going to navigate from here to here to here. Kind of almost do it as a bit of a tech detox, so you're not necessarily relying on phones or digital mapping like that. Like literally get people out there with maps, with a compass. Sorry, Lou's just said I can't wait for all of his kit to be out of my hallway.
Hello, my hallway. His kit in my hallway, not his kit in our hallway. I should say.
But if you've got the opportunity to get out to places like Dartmoor and the like, obviously you need to be safe. Don't just go, oh yeah, this will be fine, and then just go and have a trek round. But yeah, it's important, and I think it's a good skill, and it's something that I know I've been talking to Land Nav Challenge about this idea of an event, which is basically right. It's not an airsoft event per se, but you have to like go and almost do like orienteering and survive a couple nights out in Dartmoor. But it's obviously a bit of a challenge, because if you've got complete novices doing it, there's a high risk that you may need to be rescued from Dartmoor, which you don't really want to put stress on the emergency services over there. But if you can do it, it's absolutely cracking. There's some lovely places to camp on Dartmoor.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you've never done it before, obviously try and stay a bit local first and just maybe do an overnighter. And then once you get a bit more confident, then sort of push a bit further afield,
Yeah.
Don't just go balls out. I'll go to Dartmoor and I've got my bum bag with some stuff and snacks in it. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. The first time I did it, I took just a poncho setup. I didn't take a tent or anything like that. Literally bivvy bag, poncho. I learned very quickly not how ponchos. I set it up as just a normal A-frame poncho, traditional tent setup, and very quickly that you make sure your poncho is not in the direction of the wind. Or you put like I think I had an extra poncho on as well, so I just capped the end off because, honest to God, the first night it was just howling wind all through us.
Just made your own wind tunnel to test your streamlineness. Yeah, that's never good.
So we're going to be talking a little bit about Rift in a second, in terms of what's coming up with Shift Your Rifts this weekend. But I did just want to mention this. So somebody suggested that I looked like an impersonation of Winston Churchill in the Arctis Winston Churchill sticker that they currently have.
Surely we can recreate that this weekend.
I think, yeah. I mean, I was going to see if we could try. I mean, I don't have a Tommy gun, unfortunately, but...
Why is he doing the Vulcan symbol for peace?
I don't know.
Surely he should be doing that, should he not? Why is he being all Spock on us?
Yeah, live long and prosper.
Is Churchill a closet Trekkie? Bloody hell. Fair play.
Yeah. I hadn't spotted that. That's potentially just a bit of a boo-boo on the design, maybe. I don't know.
That's genuinely... I don't remember any images of Churchill doing a Vulcan peace symbol. It was always round the wrong way. Until he realised that was actually telling someone to fuck off, and then he switched back to that way.
Well, we'll try and recreate that this weekend.
I reckon we can do that. I'm sure you've got an OD green sort of overcoat, haven't you?
Yeah, that's fine. I say the only thing I don't have is the Tommy gun, so we'll have to...
Is that a Tommy gun or is that a PPSH? I think it's a Tommy gun, isn't it?
No, it's a Tommy gun.
It is a Tommy gun, is it? With a drum mag rather than the straight...
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a Tommy gun there we can grab hold of for a photograph. Must be, surely.
Yeah. I also just wanted to drop a little something that we've been working on in the background as well. So for those that attended, that's fine. Op Phoenix, we are looking into various bits and pieces. This is an identity card mock-up that we had made with the intention of certain gameplay mechanics and stuff like that. So just to kind of maybe garner a little bit of excitement in terms of what might be coming in the pipeline. From an Op Phoenix sequel or prequel.
Yes, these are good.
So I won't go into any more detail on that one at the moment, but just thought it was a little teaser whilst I had it to hand. So, yeah. Right, I wanted to mention something else, and it's completely slipped my mind just what it was. Should we talk about Shift Your Rifts?
Yes, I'm excited for Shift Your Rifts. I can't wait.
Yes.
Because I missed last year because I was storming the beaches of the Isle of Wight. Which is genuinely fun. If anyone goes to the Isle of Wight this year, you must get a river taxi or a harbour taxi with the front that drops down and run up the beach because it was brilliant. I was so excited.
We got this little video through of Lance going like, "I'm about to land on the beach in a landing craft because the front of the boat just landed onto the beach."
It was incredible. I was like pushing old people out the way, like me.
Shouting 3 minutes.
I'll be with you.
Yeah.
Just had a whistle just randomly on me.
Yeah. Just throwing up over the side. And
yeah. Full immersion. Oh, it was so much fun. It was brilliant. As soon as I got on there, I was like, oh my God, it's got a drop front to it. I said, this is going to be epic.
Yeah.
It'd have been better if we had an old guy in like a mobility scooter, though. Like he could have been one of like the Sherman funnies. Do you know what I mean? Just get it for first. Like,
But you don't even wait until you land. It's because they were the ones that had the skirts on them, weren't they?
That's right. Yeah. I can't remember the engineer's name now. It was such and such his name. They call them the funnies. I think the name. Yeah. Craft various different tanks and that. Yeah. Cool. Yes, I had lots of fun. I would go back to the Isle of Wight purely to do that.
Hobart's funnies.
Hobart's funnies. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Hobart's funnies. There you go.
Brilliant stuff.
But yeah, so Shift Your Rifts, it is an event run by Rift Airsoft in the UK. It is attuned to an airsoft festival, basically. We've kind of talked about it before. We had Tony Whitmarsh from Rift on the show a couple episodes back. So if you want to find out more about kind of the organisation behind Rift and everything like that, then please feel free to go and check that out. we just wanted to spend a bit of time talking about what we're looking forward to with the event, really. So it's a combination of days of airsoft. So you've obviously got kind of day games. Say day games. It's a continuous day game that occurs throughout the day. I think there is a brief pause for lunch, just while they kind of reset some bits and pieces and kind of swap the game around so that
you can dip in and out, can't you? Of it, I think.
Yeah. So you can. It's probably attuned to an all-you-can-eat buffet style of airsoft, similar actually to Raid. Raid, weirdly, is quite similar on that front in that you can kind of just stop if you want to, but then you can just kind of launch back into it if you want to keep going. The only difference with Raid is that runs continuously. There is no kind of pause for lunch or overnight or anything. That literally runs straight through. Whereas Rift is, say, more of a festival vibe. So in the evening, I think the game stops probably about 4 or 5, something like that. At which point, sort of all the rest are put away, and then it's just more of a social. Bit of food, bit of grub, bit of booze, just chilling out, really. So
wonderful.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about some of the things we've got going on our stand, Lance?
Yes, I can. So we'll have
because I know you've been kind of.
There's a couple of games
taking point on it. Yeah.
There's a couple. So we're going to have the press up challenge will be returning because that was brilliant fun. Whether it's going to be with the Beast or whether it's going to be with my loadout, not all the whole shebang, but it'll be my plate carrier, my shooter's belt, fully loaded, so the weight on that will all be in there. Or depending on how our display goes and our sort of show and tell and sort of techie bit, if you like, that we're going to be doing on the stand, we'll use the Beast Bergen as well. We might just sort of pause it for a bit whilst we're doing some, how would you say it, sort of like a demonstrations and stuff of like kit. Basically, we're trying to entice people who haven't been to Milsims to the stand to sort of go through some of the kit that you take out in the field, this, that, and the other. So we'll have a little demo area set up. So if you pass this on to, I know a lot of the listeners in here are seasoned Milsimers, but any new guys in that want to come over and go through some stuff like belt kits and cook setups and shelter setups and stuff like that. So we're going to have all that there for people to go through and get their hands on and have a look at and feel the weight of it with the bag loaded up and stuff. We'll have, like I said, we'll have a couple of games. So we're going to have a cot bed challenge. That's a new one for this year. So there'll be some prizes to be won if you can fastest time of setting up a cot bed to 100% complete, not with just like one bit at the end and just a little bit missing.
No, you've got to make sure that you adjust the retention strap. This tastes absolutely horrible.
The retention strap must be fully adjusted. So we're going to have that. We're going to have a couple of guesses how many of certain item is in a certain thing, and you might win yourself a couple of little bits and bobs. So yeah, little fun games and stuff like that. Obviously, we're going to have our big screen going on that's going to be showing some older episodes. And we'll be out mingling as well and doing some talks and bits and bobs. So yeah, no, I'm buzzing for this year. It's going to be really cool. Yeah. I won't be playing airsoft, but I will be on the stand for 48 hours just saying hi to loads of people because that's what I love doing. I love meeting people and chatting away. And
so I'm going to be out in the field a little bit. That being said, I was out for a run earlier today and felt something pop in my leg and then immediately couldn't put any weight on my right leg. It turns out that I have potentially got tennis leg, which is where you tear a little bit of your calf muscle. So we'll wait and see as to whether that properly heals up between now and then.
At a JBG event.
Yeah.
And did it literally feel like someone had just kicked you in the back of the calf?
No, so mine was mine doesn't hurt per se, but I can't easily put like a lot of weight on it, and I definitely can't jog around on it at the moment.
Right.
But I was just because I've been trying to do a little side project, which it's not really a secret. I'm trying to do something called Couch to Milsim, which is something that me and my mate at work, Adam, have coined the term of. So based on sort of Couch to 5K principle of doing 5K in 9 weeks, we are applying that with an extension in that it runs up to 20 weeks, by which point you'll be able to theoretically run 5K in about 45 minutes with a 25 kg Bergen in combat boots and combat trousers. So that's the plan. And we've been pretty good. We're on we're halfway through week 2.
So you've been going out for little runs every day, have you? Or
yeah. So literally not every day, but it's based on the principle of 3 times a week. So fine. It's okay, chaps. I'm here now. It's all right, James. Thanks for letting us know.
Thanks, James. Yeah. We can start the show properly now. He's here.
But yeah, so basically it's sort of 3 times a week. So we're sort of trying to get out, and then a little bit of extra exercise in the weekends as well.
That's good, man.
I'm
proud of you for that.
Noticed anything other than my breathing no longer involves coughing, which after the first time I went out, it was like, oh God, I'm going to die. Whereas I still feel like that, but I'm not coughing whilst saying it. So that's a plus. But anyway, yeah, so I was out for a run today and managed to pop something in my calf. So
did you stretch beforehand? Did you warm up? Or
I did stretch. I would like to say, though, that at the same time as stretching, I wasn't probably giving it as much thought as I did. And I did utter the words, nah, who needs to warm up?
Well, there you go.
Which couldn't have been more karmatic in terms of...
at the very least, you should always do like, at least 5 minutes of just walking.
Oh, I did like a little bit of like throwing my legs about and kind of like leaning over and stuff like that. Because, again, I'm not an expert on any of this. I'm sort of learning.
Just plenty of rest, mate.
Turns out that, literally running. I've never felt anything like this before in my life. Literally running, and all of a sudden it was just like a... unfortunately, it was my like something in my calf and not my Achilles tendon, because apparently that's an absolute nightmare if that goes. That requires...
Oh, fucking... My dad's went, and they literally had to cut the back of his leg open behind his knee and pull it down to his ankle and stitch it back together because it completely snapped.
John Doe says, airsofters walking, get out of here.
Absolutely. Tactical walking, sir. It's the way forward.
Oh, it's just, basically, it's something I wanted to improve for a while. I can't remember if I've announced this or not, but I've got a second on the way, which we find out the gender of in June, which would be very exciting. But something somebody said to me, though, it was like, you die for your kids, but why don't you live for them? And that's something that's kind of resonated with me over the last few months, because it's like, well, yeah, it's a really good point. Like, why would you not try and like make yourself live a little bit longer by like, getting healthy and doing that? And a bit of extra cardio can't hurt. Sorry, for airsoft anyway. The shorter distance sprints between buildings and stuff like that, I don't really struggle with too much. But anything maybe over sort of 200 meters, I'm definitely out of breath by the time I get to the end of that. Mm-hmm. So I thought, good opportunity. Let's throw some extra weight on there. Got to make it more milsim than just couch to 5K, because that's boring. So yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. So
I'll let you know how it goes.
And
keep at it as well. So that's the hardest struggle, is keeping at it, is having that motivation to get up and go every time. No, it's really good, mate. That's spot on. Nicely done.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Drew says tennis leg, bouncing your balls too many times before playing.
Absolutely. Bouncing your balls off your leg. Excess ball bag hitting the leg.
So anyway, we'll be playing. Obviously, please do come and say hello if you are coming to Shift Your Riffs. It'll be absolutely cracking to see you.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, I must get pictures. I want to get many photographs this year, because we are crap at getting photographs and doing some social media stuff. So we're going to make a conscious effort to do that this year. I'm going to get a list together of key photos. I would like to get one of, like I said to you the other day, it'd be great if we could get like the three of us and then everyone who's been associated with the show in a photo that we sort of brought together over the years, like the community picture sort of thing. That'd be awesome to try and get that. All the teams and individuals and companies and that we've dealt with. That'd be good.
That was what I was going to say. We've been reaching out to people to speak to. I reached out to Tokyo Marui, and unfortunately, they would be up for coming on the show, but they don't have enough grasp of English. And that's not me being rude. That's literally what they sent in the email back. They don't have anyone on the team that is basically competent enough with the English language that they feel that it would be advantageous to them. It would obviously be a struggle for them to convey what they want to convey. So unfortunately, at the moment, we can't get Tokyo Marui on the show.
European or American like frontmen or women that would come on?
Not that I'm aware of. But they literally said we currently have no staff speaking English to a correct level for this type of event. Sorry about that. But I just really appreciated the shout out from them, and I just wanted to say
at least
thank
they got back to us.
Yeah, because there are some companies that don't. So.
Which will remain nameless.
Yeah. If anyone
who gives a shit about them anyhow? Because I'm
not going to leave it. I'm
not
going
like Emery, these other companies.
No, I'm not going to leave it nameless because there is one company I really want to get on, which is Vesti Foods. So anybody that knows anyone in Vesti Foods, please can you sort of point them our way? I have currently tried to contact Vesti Foods directly. I've gone through a few other side channels. I've contacted the MOD itself. I've contacted the government procurement service that helps the MOD get the food from Vesti Foods. But they basically make all the ration packs for the British Army, and they put all that information, they put all that stuff together. And I just think it'd be fascinating to have them on the show. It's something, a topic that I've not seen really covered anywhere else. So if anybody has any contacts, please, this is a massive plea for help, because it would be incredibly good, I think, to get them on the show, to have a chat with them. I just think it'll be a really interesting episode, basically. Something a little bit more highbrow than what we normally come out with.
and it's food based as well, so it's even better.
Yeah, it's food based.
I'd like them to bring out a strict carnivore ration pack. That would be bloody camera keeps coming out of focus. Yeah, a strict carnivore. That's one thing I'm looking forward to this weekend is the mega burger.
Yep.
Oh my god! But without the bun, obviously. Just the meat.
Oh, you could have one little cheeky bun, could you not?
No, because I fell into that trap not so long ago, and I thought, do you know what? I've been so good for so long, I'm gonna have a bun, and I suffered for it. And I'm not going to go down that route again.
No, that's fine. We don't have to go into the details of it. Thank you.
Plus, I'm sharing a tent with you, Mike, and I don't think you're going to want to go through that with me. You're more than welcome to, but I'm just warning you now.
I'll be your emotional support friend.
Yeah. On a lead with a ball gag in his mouth. Who is that?
Weird, really quick.
Well, it did in the team chat earlier, didn't it?
Yeah. But no, the food's going to be absolutely cracking.
There's a newsstand this year as well. Isn't there like a gourmet burger wagon there this Saturday?
There is. Well? So, from my understanding, the army had to pull out. They were doing some catering on the Saturday night, and I think they've had to pull out for some reason. So they've called in a gourmet burger van, which would be cool.
Beautiful.
So we'll be doing some other bits and pieces as well. So we'll be, if you're interested, please feel free to join our Instagram, because we'll be doing some lives through that, sort of bits and pieces that are going on. We're going to be trying to do a trade-up competition between the three of us. Not so much of a competition between the three of us, but we just want to see, as a podcast, like a little collective, we're going to
pool our efforts, aren't we, between the three of us?
Yeah, just start off with one of our patches and sort of see what we can trade up to. Because one of the big kind of draws of the Rift, Shift Your Rifts event, is the boot fair. So you've got a lot of opportunity for people to just kind of rock up and sell their wares, so to speak. So we're hoping that we can maybe sort of see if we can do some cool trades. It's probably going to go horrifically wrong, but we'll get it.
It'd be good fun.
Yeah. I have a question for the audience now. One of our very kind listeners, by the name of Drew, has sent us 3 24-hour British Army ration packs with the challenge that we have to, each of us can. Now, obviously, I don't know how this is going to work for you, Lance. It might be that you have to judge. But
if it's for charity, I'll do anything.
It might be that I don't know if it's a worthwhile thing to do it on the podcast, because the way that he phrased this as a challenge makes it sound like if we did the 24-hour show with these things, it could not end well. But the idea is to consume the full 24-hour ration kick in an hour, which we can't work out if we're going to do it as a live episode on this or as a separate video in case people don't want to just watch us eat for an hour, or as something potentially live as a separate function itself. I don't know.
How much of a rat pack do you reckon you could get through in an hour? Like, are we talking like every single edible? Yeah,
all of it.
Like all the drink powders.
Yeah,
I reckon there's a good chance that's going to fucking kill you. Purely because of like the sugar intake in an hour, you'll be fizzing.
Well, no, because I
an hour, yes, Mr. Aggravation, an hour.
I think the bigger challenge is the amount of water that you would have to consume. So, for example, all the isotonic powders and everything like that. You know,
yeah, because they're designed to be mixed with a litre.
But what I was thinking is if you can kind of like just sprinkle the powder in like a cinnamon bun or something like that and just chomp your way through it. Because don't get me wrong, I appreciate that just downing the powder is probably going to be like super deathy.
Surely there's something you can use like a sherbet dip. Like there must be like a stick type thing that you could like dunk your maple bun in water and just dip it in the isotonic powder. It's going to be so bad. Aggravation
says the challenge is keeping it down. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm well up for doing it. I just don't know at this point. Includes the matches and hang on, the 1 hour and 100% included matches and arse wipes. I'm not eating them.
I'm not eating the matches or arse wipes. And I'm not using them if I don't need to use them.
I don't know if he's suggesting using them or eating them.
I don't know. But like, what about? Do they still have purification tablets and that? And everything? We've got to use them.
Yeah, but to be fair, you could probably just put them in the water, couldn't you?
Got to use everything, says Drew.
Oh, you have to use everything.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's all right. Yeah. Yeah. This is definitely going to have to be recorded then, and like, because it's going to have to be outdoors if we've got like
just sitting there striking matches while you're eating your isotonic
matches at each other. Paraffin blocks just fuck off. In the way God intended. All right, mate. Yeah. All right, leave that with us. That'd have to be a video. The three of us just sat there as with a paramedic on stand. We'll have to have Les there on standby because one of us is going to drop.
Let me film it. We can do it like Hot Ones, where I ask you questions as you were doing it. Yeah, I mean, I think it might need to be a trip over the woods.
That's a private site thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm up for it. I just don't know how. Like, I reckon.
Well, you can't do it, can you? You say you're up for it.
If it's for charity, if it's for a charity, if there's money going to go to a well-worthy cause, and I'll break my eating to do this. If it's for a charity.
Oh, there we go.
But this is going to fuck me up. I'm just putting it out there. I'll be going to be a mess. I'll probably have no teeth in my head.
Oh, why do I keep drinking that? Ugh.
What is it?
Oh, it just tastes of plastic. Everything in here tastes of plastic because of what this is emitting. It's probably some sort of like PVC fumes.
Right.
Just getting into everything.
Okay. Leave that with us, Drew, and we'll
we'll work on that one.
We'll work on that. Yeah, somehow. So we'll do something. But I just want to look into the risks of eating a 24-hour ration pack in an hour first. Like, all jokes aside, I'm going to need a whole roll of clinical waste bags. Yeah, and maybe a what's the old boom boom?
Oh, the defibrillator.
We might need a defib there on site as well, Les.
Yeah, 100% 1 hour charity stream. I'm sure we could try something out. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Thanks, Drew.
And I've also said, just going back to some of the comments, I didn't realise that the Reverend was a reporter before the fall. Yep, Reverend Julian Banjo used to be a reporter. Also a variety of other things, apparently. So
he's got a very colourful upbringing.
Massively. Phil Dunn, Mike, if you thought about using one of those 3D printed DSLR cameras that have a 40 mic shell inside, I was not even aware that this existed.
That's brilliant.
It sounds dangerous.
Smile.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Bastard.
But it would be quirky.
A metal water bottle. John Doe does.
Or like a canteen.
Fuck off. I'm guessing that's for heating it over, be able to heat over a fire as well, Sean. If you're getting non-pure water and you want to boil up some river water or something like that, hence the metal water bottle. Trying to think now of that brand. It's a very popular bushcraft
Crusader's
brand.
all plastic, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, what the bloody hell is that brand now? It's like Flint and Striker or something it's called. I can't think of the name of it, mate. I'll look it up. But it's like a billy can sort of top setup. Where you get it all in one. It's
Kelly Kettle.
No, it's not a Kelly Kettle. It's like a bushcrafty name. Like I say, Flint and Striker or something like that. It's yeah. Oh, was it Pathfinder? No, it might be possibly. I know Pathfinder do one, which is like a canteen set, which has got a water bottle in the canteen set. That would make sense because it's got the cup and the cutlery and the water bottle in the canteen set. but it contains a water bottle. It's not just called a canteen. That's fucking stupid.
Sorry, LandNav suggests Pathfinder. I've just done a quick Google. There's a few things on there. So Helican, Pathfinder, Clean Canteen, do one as well. I don't know. I've not got any experience in terms of recommending them.
I really want to get... Have you seen the videos flashing up on Instagram of those Viking mugs with like the rope or bone handle, and they're like an insulated... They look bloody good, they do. I just don't know if it's a gimmicky crap or whether it's genuinely good.
It's the sort of thing you want to go to, like, War and Peace. Not War and Peace, sorry, Military Odyssey. They normally have a few of those random stands, don't they, where they make stuff like that.
I want to see
it's
one.
It's the sort of thing you actually want to go and touch and, like, go, oh, no, this is pucker. This is
yeah. It's like a big maritime rope handle that's, like, rigid. And it's like, wow, that's just... It looks fucking epic. I want one. But I just don't know. I'll have my drinking horn from Game of Thrones with me this weekend. I must remember to pack that. It's very important. I should have that there. Just because...
Mr. Aggravation says, by the way, just looks out. There's 5 energy drink powders, 2 teas, 2 coffees. That's a fair amount for an hour. So this is the problem I've got. I don't like coffee. So I'm not quite sure. Shit. It might be a case of having to swap the coffee with... But Andy doesn't drink hot drinks at all, so I don't know how he's going to deal with that one.
Well, no, he'll just have to have them all cold.
It's even worse. Yeah. John Doe says bushcraft and ULW stuff is actually really good for Milsim events. So.
Yeah. Definitely, mate.
This is the thing.
It's whatever works for you at the end of the day, isn't it, really? It's not specific. Yeah. It hasn't specifically got to be military. It's whatever works for you.
I mean, this is what I was just going to say. It's the fact that the whole military surplus stuff is ultimately is just a company have bid to provide a certain item to the MOD, which can then be rolled out, mass manufactured, rolled out, and given to troops, etc., of a certain specification. But it doesn't mean it's the best product out there, because for starters, you even see it in like groups like Fill Your Boots and stuff like that online, which is sort of active and ex-serving, where they kind of like, see all these airsofters wandering around in Gucci kit. Well, the current serving, it just gives you all the issued stuff. But it's why soldiers and that supplement what they've got with better bits of kit. Because ultimately, the stock stuff will do a job, but it's not necessarily the lightest. It's not necessarily the most functional.
Well, that's why places like JJ's and Mission Tailors and Dragon Supplies exist, because squaddies and that, they go there and they get their issued kit either tailored, or they'll go to them specifically and buy their branded kit. That's why these people exist, because they know that the MOD, obviously, they need to buy it in bulk. It needs to have a reasonable amount of quality, but essentially it's not always going to be the best. If it was the best, then everyone would be issued a JJ's Beast Bergen, but they're not, because it's just not financially viable for the military to do that.
But I mean, as on top of that as well, you don't really know as an outsider to the army what works for you. When you're in the army, it's not really, as far as I'm aware, like you're given a choice. It's not like, oh well, you can use the the little hex stove or anything like that, or you can use the jet boil that we've also got, because you don't have the jet boil. You've got one thing to use. That's what you use.
And the thing is, though, when you're doing like the training, like your basic training, you have to use a hexi burn. You can't use a jet boil. That comes after. You've got to go through the hardships of using what's been given to you to start with. That's like my brother-in-law told me when he got issued the old bivvy booties. And they literally, I think by the end of the weekend, they'd all be taken back off them, because nobody was wearing their fucking boots. They was all stood to with their fucking little booties on. They're like, their OCs just going berserk. Like, lads, you need to put your fucking boots on. Go running around the woods in little soft Ugg boots. Just fuck's sake, get a grip. and then he just turned around and said, right, bollocks, give them all back. So he took them all off them. That's it. No, these are now off the list. You're not having them. You can't behave.
Yeah. Oh, but they're so comfy.
They're lovely. They are nice. They are very nice. Yeah. Just cutting them out in a pair of little ninja shoes.
Phil says, later, gents, I'm off to play with trains. Have fun, mate.
Fair play, buddy.
John says an instant coffee sachet is worth 2 cigarettes as a form of field currency.
An instant coffee sachet is worth roughly 2 cigarettes.
Actually,
is it really?
That would be quite interesting to know, because that would be quite handy for our sequel event.
What, for trading foods and stuff?
Yeah.
What the actual infield currency? I like the sound of that.
Yeah. Field
currency. Yes. John, yes. You must send us a message, mate, a bit more in depth on your knowledge of field currency and what's traded for what.
Mix it with a litre of water and go. I call it a stay alert brew.
I'm wondering whether you could just put the entire contents of a ration box into a pot and just warm it through and eat it. Would that taste? Do you think that'll taste like shit?
Probably. I think the raspberry powder mixed with like a beef stroganoff would probably be a bit strange, or that beef hot pot or whatever.
And then just break up a maple bun over the top of it.
Yeah.
Yummy.
A bit of seasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blend it.
Drew says, I've just reached out to my contact at Vesti to see if anyone from customer relations or marketing would be free for a chat. Dude, that'd be amazing.
Oh, Drew, you're coming out with all the stops tonight,
yes.
sir. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Drew, if you do that, I'll, whatever you want from a marketing point of view, if you want a t-shirt or anything like that, if you can get us like Vesti foods on the show, then you can just have one. I'll pay for it. Don't worry.
Look us up, Drew, and we'll hook you up, brother.
Yeah. Range stew. Yeah, that's range stew. Where you mix everything together.
Yeah, but not. Yeah, there's
but I don't
range
think
stew.
Mix all the isotonic
no,
powders.
that's what I'm saying. There's range stew, and then there's taking the piss. Because I think Terry and Les call it an all-in stew, where everyone gets like their main meal and they just chuck it in the pot, whatever it fucking is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Defiance says, now if you can do an Arctic ration pack in an hour, that would actually cause instant type 2 diabetes and the shits. You literally just get to the end of the hour and just literally just explode. That's all it is.
That's what I'm worried about. I think it'll be coming out of me as quick as I'm eating it. That's what concerns me. I'll have to literally do this video from the pan.
Yeah.
With a really good microphone which cancels out all background noise.
Can I just say, I'm liking the fact that your setup right now is you've got these lovely little horns coming out the side of your head, and that's been throughout the most of the show.
Have I?
No, if you go back, the casino board behind you.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, hang on. There you go.
Yeah.
We need to get Viking hats. I think that would be a good step in the right direction for us. Viking hat. Wonder if there'll be anyone for sale on the weekend.
Well, we can have a look into it.
We can only hope. We can only hope.
Defiance, at least Lance will get the use out of the pack shit tickets.
I think it's going to take a bit more than that.
I think it's meant to get to use the out of the pack shit tickets. Yeah.
I think after eating a ration pack in an hour, I don't think they'll do. I think I'll probably just need a really big like sponge. I think a sponge will be a big car wash sponge, like a massive sponge.
Lovely.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a great deal of consistency.
No. Let's move the conversation on from this at this point. Just going back to Shift Your Riffs. So we're obviously going to be out and about in the game zone. We're out and about on out of the game zone as well. So yeah, please do come say hello. It'll be absolutely cracking to have a chat with people because it's nice to put a name to a face, like as Lance said earlier. I think it was Drew actually I randomly bumped into at Shift Your Riffs.
Is Drew, just quickly, Mike, is Drew the guy who came to our intro to Milsim who'd never done anything before? Was that a different Drew?
No, that's a different Drew. I think. Drew, Drew is not the one that came to our intro. This is the trouble.
This is where I struggle, see, with Drews and call signs and things. Yeah. I'm going to have a whiteboard.
We'll get some patches made up, which is just like my name. Hello.
That would be great. Actually, if you could get a white sticky label and just write down your call sign on and put it on you before you get to the stand, then it'll give me a fighting chance of knowing who the fuck you are.
Yes, when I'm talking. Come and talk to us
when I'm talking to you. Because sometimes I'm not going to lie. Like even like the one I went to the year before last, I was like, mate, how you doing?" I'm thinking, "You're great, but who the fuck are you?" And I mean that in the nicest way possible. I'm just terrible with names and faces and linking the two together. I struggle with that. I really do struggle.
I was in a chat earlier about this, funnily enough, because somebody was suggesting taking a photo of Shifter Riffs, sort of like us and a couple other stands, etc. And genuinely, I have I don't want to be famous. Like, this is not what this is all set up to be. Like, the whole premise of November Foxtrot was just kind of like get a chance to sit around and chat online. However, right, I really don't want to be famous. However, the only time that I have been identified as being part of November Foxtrot was when someone came up to me and went, "Oh yeah, you're with November Foxtrot." Yeah, that's shit. And just walked off. I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Whereas I've been with Lance. You've had people come and ask for your photo to be taken. I've been with Andy, where I was asked to take the bloody photo.
That I actually came up today at your brother's wedding when I had a ride out on the bike and met my wife at her work for a coffee, and I don't know how we got into the conversation. She's like, I still laugh about that day at David's wedding when that guy came up to you and went, "Is it really you?" And I thought, what do you mean, is it really me? Of course it's me. He went, "No, from the podcast, from the podcast." I said, "Yeah, that's right." And Louise had to take a picture of us. And yeah, wow, there you go.
And again, don't get me wrong, I'm not asking for people to take their photos with me. I genuinely am not. I just like to be slightly more on par with the just not having to take photos of the two of you with other people, or people just telling me.
You know what's going to happen now, though. Now you've made the statement. You know what's going to happen this coming weekend. Knowing this lot, that's all you're going to get now. Do you mind taking a picture of me and Lance or me and Andy?
Yeah.
I don't know why you do it to yourself. You don't think about it in your head, thinking if I say this out loud now, it's going to cause issues further down the road.
I need to share my feelings and tell people how I feel and communicate what's in my brain. So that's what I'm doing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You want to fucking sack your therapist and I'll do it.
Yeah, James, you missed it, mate. We've already talked about this. Why would people not want photos with a modernised Churchill character?
Yeah, and James, you might be able to answer this. Why is Churchill flipping a Vulcan peace sign? Why is he surely doing that or that? Why is he doing that? Explain.
Well, to be fair, it's not James's fault, is it?
I could actually say that to him over the radio. If he says, "Oh, if the next meal sim I ever get to for a Defiant event, if he's on 0, I can
live
say
long and
this."
prosper.
No, I can't wait to say this. If your eyes on target, blah, 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 I can come back over the radio and go, because his name's James, I can say, "There's life, Jim, but not..."
Oh, God.
I can't wait to do that. Next event, it's gonna be said. Sorry, it's the little things. That was not terrible. It's brilliant.
Okay.
But you may well be on the 0 for his team at the next one. So I could say it to you. Could you relay this to James? There's life, Jim.
No, because I'd have to act as a filter at that point, wouldn't I?
You'll be the filling in a Lance James sandwich. Lucky boy. You may well be this Saturday yet. We don't know.
Maybe. Question from Les came in. When's the next part of Op Phoenix?
We're in discussions at the moment. Well, we're in discussions internally regarding whether it's a sequel or a prequel. And then there's 2 different locations depending on which scenario we go for. It has to be at one of these 2 locations for it to flow better and for the story to fit with what we want to do. But the prequel, I think, is going to take a lot more planning than the sequel would do. Because there's a lot more... I think, personally, the prequel, there's a lot more moving parts to it and additionals regarding staff and things like that we need to consider to make it fucking... It will be awesome to do it. Mike knows what I'm on about.
I don't want to say it, because if I do, it'll ruin it.
Yeah, we're not saying a word about the prequel.
No.
Obviously, everyone knows what could sort of be coming with the sequel because we've done Op Phoenix already, so you know where the story's going to lead on to. But the prequel, that's a different fucking ball game altogether, girls and boys. You have to have your A games on you for that one.
Yeah. I think you will for the sequel as well. I think.
Absolutely, yeah. But I don't think... I mean, in the immortal words of Maximus Decimus Meridius, I will give them something they've never seen before. And it really will be, though, won't it? It genuinely will be.
Yeah, I mean, that the prequel type of event has not been done as I've seen before, and with a bit of research. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've not the be all and end all of knowledge in airsoft, but I've certainly never seen anything like that done as an airsoft event.
Yeah, if you've got a comfort area for milsims and airsoft events you like to go to, this will completely remove you from that, regardless of what you do. Whether you're a hardcore milsimmer, a one-day skirmisher, a battle simmer, whatever it might be, a Swiss Army knife who loves all airsoft. It's
not really a milsim per se at that point. It's a different, it's a whole different sort of event.
It develops into something, but
yeah.
You need to, you. If we do the prequel, you need to approach it with a very,
very open mind. This is the worst way of explaining this because
no, it's not.
No, know exactly what we're talking about.
Yes,
and
but
nobody else.
It's intriguing. It's intriguing. That's what I'm saying. That we literally cannot say anything about it because it would spoil it for you, and we don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's that good. I'd rather fucking take part in it than organise it because it would just be so exciting.
Yeah.
But don't expect a milsim, skirmish, battle simmy type op thing. It will develop, but yeah, we can't say anymore because it will spoil it. So let's move on. Let's do a different subject, different topic. Let's go.
In terms of the sequel, we've got a kind of a loose plan for the sequel. I just need to at some point get some time to draft it up, sort of run it past Andy and Lance and make sure that we're all happy with it from that perspective, and then show it to some people in terms of whether anybody would like to pick it up as an event, basically. So there's a few sort of people that we will go to first, and sort of just say that, what do you think? And see how that works out, and just run down the pecking order with it. Really, just we think it's a really cool idea. We think it will work really well. So yeah. It's hard because there are certain things. I mean, and James, I know, from Defiant on the chat, like he'll be exactly the same mindset. There are things that obviously you want to try and innovate on. All events companies, for the most part, I think if you're a fairly decent events company, you will try and innovate. You don't just rinse and repeat the same event over and over again because that's naff. Like it's not the National Airsoft Festival. It's crap in terms of.
That's the National Airsoft Festival.
No, don't take my words out of my mouth. That's not fair.
You said naff. No, it's not the National Airsoft. It's crap.
No, but I just wanted to make it clear that it wasn't that. But the idea being is that there's sort of certain things that I mean, I know we often get joked about in different community chats about not always being able to go out and play milsims regularly. We're obviously quite busy, so we try and attend the events that we really want to attend. But we do have sort of, I mean, I've been playing airsoft since 2012 maybe, something like that, and milsims sort of maybe a few years sort of after that start. But we've been playing it a long enough time that we've kind of got an idea about what we like and what would be cool, and trying to grab ideas from other things, really. So you don't really want to start advertising and telling everybody what your ideas are until you've kind of got it fleshed out and it makes sense, and then you can run it. Not from the fact of people potentially stealing it, but just you don't know if it's a good idea or not. Like, you need to test these things and think about them. We've talked about different med rules. We've talked about in-game mechanics. We've talked about storylines, and
it's all about
length and durations of event, locations and stuff like that. It's
all about like bringing in new things as well, and sort of keeping things fresh and keeping people on their toes as well, rather than just sort of like rinsing and repeating. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But you're not gonna find out what works without making some fucking mistakes along the way, are you? So
no. I mean, you look at Defiant's latest milsim with the LARP elements on that. Like, that was. And unfortunately, I couldn't attend the event. But from what I hear, that was just a whole nother level in terms of the level. That's basically where players took it to, which is a massive difference. And you can't always plan these things because ultimately it's down to the players to participate and really get involved and get behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's some ideas. There's some ideas brewing, but we're. I know there's a few people going to laugh at this. We're not an events company. We want to try these ideas out and do these kind of little bits and pieces more as just a bit of research and development, really.
Yeah. I mean, we've got some cracking ops
and
that planned, but like Mike said, we're not an events company. We haven't got the infrastructure to, like, we're not defined. We're not JBG. We're not Octo 8. We're just three dudes with wacky ideas. For the most part, they work. Sometimes they don't. But we do need to sort out a good 24-hour cob where we can thrash out these two ops, because it is two ops that we've got to do. We can't not do both of them. We've got to do them both. We just need to thrash it out.
But I mean, ultimately,
soon.
you just need to try these ideas, and then I would far rather somebody else pick them up. Like, I mean, I'm going to use Defiant just because they're in the chat. But if Defiant went, "Oh yeah, really like that idea. Can we do that?" Yes, by all means. Because if someone else is running it, I can go and do that event, which is the whole reason that we set. We want to try these ideas out because we want to do them. It's not just down to the fact that we want to make money from it or anything like that. A little bit of support towards the podcast obviously goes a long way, but that's not why it's being tested, basically. Yeah.
We shall see. Watch this space.
Yeah. Another question from Les. When is the 24-hour +3 show?
When was it last year? Was it November 18th, November 19th?
We did it in November. So the intention this year is to do it in, I think it's end of August.
Yeah.
Around that sort of time. So we are in the process of planning it at the moment. We are getting some guests and bits and pieces lined up. We have a venue. We have some ability for people to come and watch it live if they want to. There'll also be some ability, as far as we're aware, to be able to play some airsoft at the same time. Now, we obviously need to be careful of YouTube Live's rules and regulations in terms of what we can and can't do. I'm currently in the process of reaching out to YouTube to see if we could get a special diskompensation to allow us to do airsoft live, which the challenge is that they don't allow anything that is a replica imitation firearm or anything that looks like a firearm on their lives. So that is a massive change. Yeah, it's a massive change to their rule set. So I'm doubting they're going to say yes. And also YouTube is such a massive organisation, us making a request like that doesn't really make much difference to them. So it might be that we have to do some little planning out and some jiggery pokery whereby we can have some of it. So we will have a constant live stream from the podcast studio, but it might be that we do some extra little lives and bits and pieces on like Instagram and stuff like that, and sort of posting up some videos and photos as we're going along as well. So there's kind of a few little moving elements. Again, trying to keep it a little bit more interesting. I think we've pretty much unanimously decided on the charity. The cause of, not the cause of the charity, but basically we're going to be supporting the fight against cancer. There's been a number of situations this year in terms of, Ollie Talks Airsoft, obviously some succumbed to cancer. There's a number of other people, such as some of the team from White Sphere Tactical, that have obviously been battling cancer and the like as well. And cancer affects everyone.
It does, absolutely.
So one of the bits of feedback from the previous 24-hour show was that while the charity we selected was really, really good, and we made an absolute massive benefit to that, it was quite a localized charity. So we've been sort of trying to find the balance between supporting a wider charity that supports more people nationally and sort of internationally, but at the same time that the efforts that we go to will actually be beneficial. So it's obviously a smaller charity. £1,000 for them is going to be much more advantageous than, yeah. Wait and see. But yeah, so end of August, sort of early September is the intended date. So that should be good.
Exciting times. Yeah.
Right. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for this week. If you are going to be at Shift Your Rifts, again, please come and say hello. We will have stuff We'll have some sweets as well. I need to go out and get the
absolutely sweets. Yes,
stuff
absolutely.
on the stand.
It's cool.
So.
I think the setup's going to be quite cool this year as well because a lot of us are all quite close together. JBG boys, Defiant boys, Mission Tailors, Empire. We're all in like a little cul-de-sac, if you like. So yeah, we'll all be there all ready to say hello.
I was just going to try and find my phone quickly and just run through the list of the people who are there because I know that there's obviously a number of people.
Oh yeah, it's in the Mafia chat.
Yeah.
Where's that? Go away.
But yeah, so people like Defiant will be there, for example. Empire Airsoft. I was just going to get really bad now because I'm not going to be able to remember everyone quick enough.
Here we go. Got it.
You got it?
So yeah, so you've got Only Airsoft, Frontline Events, Viper Tactical, White Sphere Tactical, Rift Airsoft Catering. We've got Airsoft Industries, Fusion Airsoft, Mission Tailors, SOCOM Tactical, Avant Trade, Second Summit, South Coast Tactical, Surefire Outdoors, Flashbang Smoke, Call Sign Wheels, Krios Photography, Big Steve Builds, Empire Airsoft, 24 Delta, Warhound Group, Defiant Milsim, November Foxtrot, whoever the fuck they are, JBG Airsoft, Gibraltar Trading, Airsoft Wholesale, Delta Action Limited, Kilo 2, Niner, and then 32 and 33 spaces are reserved for a super duper special person with no name. So yeah, it's going to be cool. Looking forward to it. Yeah, boy.
Oh, it's going to be good. It's one of the highlights.
It's just a get together. I love it. I love the social.
Yeah, it's just a nice opportunity. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's obviously a chance to have a few drinks and a bit of food and stuff like that. But it's for me, it's not just a piss up thing. It's actually a chance to chat to people and just have a bit of a laugh and. You know.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to the most is the fact that this time I'm going. I would have had sleep beforehand.
Yes.
Rather than waiting at the gate for 4 hours before some fucking arsehole waits up to let me in. Oh yeah, don't worry, mate. I'll be awake.
Tired.
Just give me a call as soon as you get off your night shift and come straight to the site. I'll let you in. I've cleared it with Tony. Yeah. I'm like, Andy, I'm at the gate, mate. It's 3:00 in the morning. Can you let me in so I can get some sleep? I think it was like 7:30, something like that.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah. Bless. Yeah, he had a lot on. He's a busy boy.
Busy boy. Bless him, yeah. Bless him, yeah.
If you want to get in touch with the show, you can do so on our email of nofochat@hotmail.com. Our Instagram is @November_Foxtrot_NoFo, and the website is novemberfoxtrot.co.uk. If we don't get in touch with you in the next few weeks, it might just be because obviously Shift Your Riffs and the like and everything going on with that and sort of the aftermath. So please bear with us. I know that I am particularly terrible with answering my own WhatsApp, but we do try our best with the podcast one just to make sure that we can kind of get everything covered off. I know Phil, for example, Phil sent me a couple messages because we're trying to get him on the show at some point to talk about a milsim in Australia.
Yeah, boy.
But we are, he's messaged me and I've just ignored him. I have been in touch with Milsim West, by the way. So we have hopefully the opportunity to get those on the show at some point soon. But if in all honesty, if there is anybody that you think would be really good to have on the show, please let us know. Just drop us a message. We'll reach out to them and try and get them on. There is no name too big or too small. So, you know, we're still trying to get John Wicks on. That's been
Keanu Reeves, don't leave it with me. I'm still on that at the moment. Yeah,
he's still working on that one at the moment.
Still fighting that good fight.
But you know, we've obviously got the series of like meet the teams and stuff like that as well. So if they, you know, there's a fairly sort of, I don't, in the nicest possible way, I don't want to go with like a blossoming milsim team just because we kind of want to be talking to the people that are at these games regularly. And if it's a case of it's a team that sort of just flares up and then dies down in a month or two, then it's a bit pointless having them on. But if there's any established teams that you think would be really worth having them on, because again, you've sort of seen them playing at events and stuff, please let us know. I say we'll reach out and try and get them on the show if they're interested. So
definitely,
yeah. On that note, do you want to have the closing words, Lance?
Yes, I will. Thank you very much, Mark. Kind regards. Enjoy Shift Your Riffs this weekend. For those of you that are going, for those of you that aren't going, you're going to miss out on a good one. Can't wait to see everyone's smiley faces at the stand on Saturday and Sunday. And just have a great time. And don't be a dick. And don't carry airsoft stuff around in public. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Nice one. On that note, we will see you next week, Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Hopefully, Andy will be back as well. And we can have a lovely little, I don't want to say three-way. I was going to take that in a weird direction again. I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
But we'll see you then. Have a good one. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Well, yeah, say goodbye, Lance.
No, guys. It's always got to be guys.
Okay, cool, guys. Okay. So, right, cool. Right, bye.
Ciao, Bella. Stay NoFo.